We are live. Back
Holy shit.
with a Friday edition of Your Wildest Fantasy Football Show.
Happy Friday, everyone. Hope everyone has a great Friday today. Thank God it's
Everyone's
Friday.
enjoying their Friday. People are eating. I don't have food. I feel a little left out, if I'm going to be honest. Do we want to get a shirt check? I'm a little upset. Kenny, you were okay. There we go. He's juiced on Herbert.
I feel like we should have had that Herbert shirt for when we did the draft, but it's whatever.
We should put those on sale.
$15.99.
Yep. Just Kenny's game worn. I'm noticing something as we go through. So this room doesn't have an AC. I have some very, 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 very top of the line, top notch, high end, probably $1,000 each lights shining down on me. That's definitely the truth. There are lights in here. Whether they cost $1,000 or not, each might be up for debate. It's pretty warm. And I think it says, I'm looking at the thermostat, it says 79 in here. The shirt changes. I feel bad because I feel like I'm just running through shirts that I cannot rewear. I'm going to take them off. They're going to be kind of like cruddy. And then I have to wash them all. I might have a load of laundry just from today.
Yeah.
To keep it in real time. It's Friday, though.
Right. Happy Friday.
We are talking about... Oh, you go.
Yeah, I mean, the switching shirt life isn't for everyone, okay? I personally... I enjoy being able to switch shirts, mainly because when I go to work, I have to wear the same shirt all day, So when I have the opportunity afforded to me to become comfortable again and to not be disgusted by how I feel, I utilize that opportunity, And again, it's not for everyone.
Yeah, most people, wherever they work or whether they work or not, do wear the same shirt all day.
Can't help them.
Better than you, I suppose.
Exactly.
Question for you right off the gate. We're talking about the AFC West. One of the top divisions in football. A lot of fantasy relevant guys here. But let's start with the hot
English.
Let's start with the hard-hitting questions.
Okay.
Todi.
That is me.
I think I have a title for this.
Question for Todi.
Can you rank the AFC West quarterbacks based on physical attractiveness? No. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be vain. Based on overall attractiveness. I want you to factor personality into this.
So who has the best personality? Who looks the best? All that good stuff. Who,
all together. Okay. Just the who's got complete package from top to bottom.
This is kind of tough because there's really only two quarterbacks in here who I think have an attractive personality, and that would be Justin Herbert leading the charge of everything because young, handsome, great personality. He'll call you when he's done hanging out with you. He'll make sure you get home safe, call you the Uber. Great guy.
Beautiful hair also.
Yeah, I mean, hair's on point. Derek Carr is second. He's leaps and bounds above these other two, but he's still below Justin Herbert. I mean, Derek Carr, great guy. I'd give him like a solid 7 out of 10 in terms of attractiveness. I mean, he's not all that in a bag of chips, but he's still a good-looking guy, above average. Personality, he'll still call me an Uber when I'm done hanging out. He'll make sure I get home safe.
Pray for you.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Third, which is far below second. It's not like 1, 2, 3. It's like 1, 2, 3 way the hell down here. and 4 right underneath 4. It'd be Patty Mahomes. Patty Mahomes is better looking and taller than Russell Wilson.
He's taller.
He is taller. But Patty Mahomes, his wife, girlfriend, if she has that personality, people say opposites attract. They don't. Same attracts. It's physics. So that just means that there's something we're not seeing behind the curtains here about Patty, and that just disgusts me. And then Russell Wilson, I don't want to get into all the details, but unfaithful to say the least. So personality is just disgusting, in my opinion. Not a guy I'm inviting over to dinner at my house. Okay, so overall attractiveness, it would go Justin, Derek, Patty, and then Russ. That's just me personally.
Are we breaking news on this show? I didn't know Russell Wilson was an infidelity guy.
I never said it. I didn't throw the I word out here. Okay, I just say it how I see it and how I read them. Okay?
So that's just pure instinct on your part.
No, it's not pure instinct.
Okay, so you have sources on the inside.
I got sources. I just can't, I can't, disclose their identity. Then people get mad. Their lives are in danger. I'm a man of the people. I care for the people.
I respect your rankings. And I'm glad we didn't do this with the AFC North. Moving into fantasy face-offs.
Love
it. This is where we're going to start. We have a special segment lined up for the end of the show. I don't know how it's going to go, so I'm going to delay that a little bit further. Fantasy face-offs. We have a lot of, I would say, wide receiver rooms that, like we were talking about yesterday, I feel like the wide receiver position this year is just a lot of guys in situations where I don't know who's going to be the guy. And I really just don't know how things are going to shake out. Let's start with Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, a dominant offense. They lose Tyreek Hill. They bring in 3 new wide receivers. I'm going to add a comma, or whoever's producing the show is going to add a comma. There we go. Juju, they bring in free agency. Same with Marquez Valdes-Scantling and Sky Moore. They take in the draft, I believe, in the second round. How do we think that this position is going to shake out? Who's going to be the guy? Who are you taking a shot on in drafts, and factoring everything in too? Like ADP, Juju is going to be probably the most valuable guy here, the guy who's going to be the most draft capital.
Right.
He's going at a pick. He's going wide receiver 33. Sky Moore is going to be later than that. And Marquez Valdes-Scantling is going to be even later than that. So what's your order for these guys, especially, I think, factoring in that ADP? Who are you taking a shot on? Do you think Juju is worth the price? All of that good stuff.
So I like Juju. Oh, I'm frozen. Okay. I like Juju. He's going to be I think he's going to be a viable fantasy option this year. He broke the Kinney curse. He's good to go. He's got a new team. Like, he had to move his whole life, to escape the curse. So I think we're fine. He has an upgrade at quarterback. He has an upgrade as he doesn't have to be the first option anymore. And I think we saw that he kind of struggled later on being the number 1 guy for the team. I mean, I think we can all agree Travis Kelce is going to be the number 1 option for that Chiefs offense. But I think Juju is going to be a great number 2. He's going to have fantasy success. I don't think he's going to be a top 12 guy. I could see him being as a wide receiver 2 end of year. Like, that's where I kind of view him. And I think that getting him so late is, it's a huge score for you. Give me some Juju. What? He's the 33rd wide receiver off the board, getting picked up in like the 7th round. Give me that guy. I love it.
Yeah, I think that Juju brings a solid floor. that I'm okay with. I could see him being like an 8-catch, 76-yard guy, which is fine with me. I'd be satisfied with that, especially in my like, if I'm hoping for Juju, like a back end wide receiver too, floor guy. Like that's kind of what I'm looking for. And you're drafting him at a lower value than that. And I think there's also a little bit of upside just being in a Patrick Mahomes offense. One thing I am thinking of, and curious to hear your guys' opinion, because it's the Kansas City Chiefs offense and Sky Moore, MVS, even Mecole Hardman are going low, like beyond pick 140. So you're really not putting much draft capital in them.
Yeah.
Would you be against taking 2 of these guys and just saying, okay, like maybe not Sky Moore and MVS, but like if you take Juju earlier, would you be against going, all right, I want a little bit of insurance in this Kansas City offense, and Sky Moore is still here at like round 14. I'm going to take Sky Moore, so then depending like wherever they go with the ball to their wide receivers, I want to try to have the guy.
I would agree with that. I think we haven't really seen like a dominant like wide receiver 2 in the Chiefs offense, because Kelce has, always been a mouth to feed there. However, I think this year, just with Tyreek gone, they drafted Sky Moore, who's, speedster on the outside. I think he'll most likely take the Tyreek Hill-esque role in that offense. So I think like his current ADP like is very good. And I think, Juju and Kelce kind of work in tandem, kind of taking like the same type of role like in the offense. I don't think they'll hurt each other. I think they'll both be. I guess we're starting a sleeper draft right now.
Cody's starting a mock.
My whole computer, it was telling me I missed my pick apparently. I'd started one.
So you did, yeah.
We figured it out. It works on the computer now.
So I think Sky Moore is a great late round sleeper, like huge potential pick. I don't really think you can go wrong with Juju. I think he's healthy. I think he needed a fresh start with a new team. But I mean, we've seen it in prior years with the Steelers. Even when it was AB's last year, Juju was, kind of correct me if I'm wrong, but was he like outperforming AB at the end of the season?
Won the MVP over him. He won the team MVP. AB was, believe it or not happy with that. Felt very slighted.
Yeah, but I think the Chiefs are still, I don't think they skip a beat. I think they're still dominant, and I just think with Tyreek going, I think there's more available fantasy worthy options in that offense. And I think if 2 wide receivers can be relevant with Kelce and whatever running back they decide to play, then I think that would be awesome. So I'm definitely taking. I would definitely consider taking 2 of these guys if given the opportunity.
And are we all going this order that's on the bottom of the screen? Juju, Sky Moore, and MVS. Like, is that the order of best to worst here, or how the targets are gonna fall out for the wide receivers?
That's how I have them. I mean, I got Juju way above them, but in terms of Sky Moore over MVS, yeah.
Which is interesting too, because if you think about it, Juju got 1 year, like $9 million deal. MVS got 3 years, $30 million. Now, I think half of it is guaranteed. So I don't know. On the surface, it looks like they made a bigger investment in MVS. Right. So I'm not trusting that he's going to be a consistent part of this offense. But I think that's something to keep an eye out for, is that they invested in MVS. Like, they put years into him where they did not do that with Juju. So I would not draft him. So it probably doesn't matter what I say after that.
Right.
But just something to consider there. Going into the next team with a loaded wide receiver room. I don't know if we can say the Chiefs have a loaded wide receiver room, but a lot of questions as to who's going to be the guy in this offense. After bringing in Russell Wilson, we expect a lot of big things out of the Denver Broncos. Got Jerry Jeudy, Courtland Sutton, and Tim Patrick right now. I think Jeudy and Sutton are going in a similar range.
21 for Jerry, 25 for Courtland. Jerry Jeudy's going 62nd overall, and Courtland Sutton's going 71.
I don't even know where Tim Patrick is going.
Tim Patrick is way down.
Yeah. So
Not inside the top 50.
I don't know if I want to take a chance on any of these guys. Like, I feel like it could be any one of the three. I think Jeudy, if you're going to make a big pick here, is probably the guy, because I don't think Courtland Sutton eats into Jeudy, and I don't think I think Jeudy just has a different role than Courtland Sutton and Tim Patrick. Those latter two guys play similarly. And I think that we saw at the end of last year, Tim Patrick was playing better than Courtland Sutton, just outperforming him from a fantasy standpoint. So, like, I don't know that I would trust Courtland Sutton. A lot of the metrics seem attractive. Like, he had a really high ADOT going into an offense where Russell Wilson likes to throw the ball deep. He had DK and Tyler Lockett, like two great deep threats. You would think that that would be a match made in heaven, but I'm not sure that I trust it just with what happened at the end of last year. And Courtland Sutton has the potential to prove me very wrong. I just don't know that. I think you get a certain number of like risky picks in a draft and then a certain number of safe picks. And I don't know that I want to make Courtland Sutton one of my risk picks.
Yeah, I mean, picking Jerry Jeudy up in, the fifth, I think that's a little
rich. A little rich.
It might be, but it could also not be. I mean, we could be sitting here at the end of the year and be like, Jerry Jeudy, top 10 guy. Got him in the fifth round. I mean, you could see that.
I don't know that I could.
I don't know if I can see that.
I don't know. I mean, I think Jerry Jeudy has talent. I think Russell Wilson is an upgrade at the quarterback position. So, to me, it's not like crazy. It's not. I'm not really looking at Courtland Sutton and Tim Patrick all that much, but I think mainly because Courtland Sutton's going so close to Jerry Jeudy that if I don't get Jerry Jeudy, I think I'm going to, out of spite, not pick up Courtland Sutton. And Tim Patrick is such a late round guy that I feel like I could get him in like the 10th, 11th, 12th, whenever, and throw a shot at him.
I think out of everyone, the most likely target for me is Tim Patrick, because you're not investing anything in him, and he could be Courtland Sutton, who you're getting at mid-20s.
I'm with it.
Kenny, any thoughts?
It's hard. I think durability is the main concern with Jeudy and Courtland Sutton. That's why you're okay with waiting on Tim Patrick if you want to invest in this offense. I think the running backs play a huge role in this offense for the Broncos. Being what it is, Javonte Williams, pass catcher.
Both.
All right, didn't know it was lunchtime, but dig in. And they re-signed Melvin Gordon. People from a fantasy perspective hate it because they were looking for that. They could potentially be looking for that Javonte Williams, outbreak this year. But it's hard. I mean, I go back and forth when I think about these receivers. I think I'm taking, if I had to, I think I'm going Sutton, Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, Tim Patrick. Just because we've seen what Cortland Sutton can do. He had that one huge year. He had a couple of flashy plays last year. Jerry Jeudy injury, durability has always been a concern. And Tim Patrick just goes out there and balls. So it's we're gonna have to see. I mean, Russ is new in town, so it's going to be interesting to see how targets are distributed, game flow, kind of all that stuff, and even the tight ends too. I mean, that's a big debate in Denver as well. Alberto and Dolchich. I don't. Greg.
Dolchich from UCLA.
Yeah. So again, a lot of mouths to feed, kind of like the Miami offense. Going to be interesting to see what happens. So
yeah. I think one of the big questions that I just want to hit on while we're talking about the Broncos, although we may talk about him later in the show. Never mind. We'll talk about Javonte a little bit later on. But for now, let's talk about two other running backs that are in this division. Two guys that probably back end RB2s to RB3s.
Flex.
Josh Jacobs, CEH. I think both guys that there's a little bit of concern, at least I would say more concerned with one than the other of getting their work eaten into, but both dealing with a little bit of challenges in their division. So, are in their backfields. Who would we rather have out of these two as your probably third running back, unless you're going
wide receiver heavy
out the gate?
Tight end heavy.
Give me CEH. I got CEH in my tier 3. He's the bottom guy. Josh Jacobs, the beginning of my tier 4. I mean, the ADP that you can get CEH at, 29th running back off the board, 91st person off the board. I mean, you can get an RB2 that late. Give me that guy all day. And also, I think Josh Jacobs does have more, weapons on his team. He's got Javonte, Hunter, Darren. I mean, he's got some options out there to alleviate the pressure on him. So I see the upside of him, not having a crowded box all the time, but depending on how Juju does, Travis Kelce's obviously going to demand people's presence. I think CH is going to have a better year this year. So give me a back end RB2 and the 8th round. I mean, give me that all day.
Yeah, it can be tough to have a crowded box. I'm going to say Josh Jacobs, not ADP related. But if we're going off ADP, I just think CEH is going to climb by the time that drafts start. You get a running back in the Kansas City offense, and I think that is going to be enough to drive him into the RB2 conversation in its own. I mean, I think I have them really close. I got to look here. I have Josh Jacobs as my RB21. CEH is my RB24. If you want to go upside, I would go CEH. If you want to stay with a little bit more of a floor, I think Josh Jacobs could be a big touchdown guy this year with that offense and how they perform.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to be interesting. You also have McDaniels coming over, and that's an offense that you never know who's going to be the running back of the week. So I don't think you're going to have to worry about that with Josh Jacobs. I just worry about I think volume is a big part of what makes him a guy in fantasy,
Right.
like being a guy that's going to get like 18 touches a game. I don't know whether he's going to have that or not. We also don't know that with CEH. So I'm going to go Josh Jacobs for now. I could see that changing by the time we do our ranks in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think I'm going to agree with Josh Jacobs over CEH in this conversation, just based on what we have to go off of. I mean, Josh Jacobs does he has gotten those goal line carries where I think last year, I mean, I know Darrell Williams was a huge part of the Kansas City offense. I know he had goal line carries. Chiefs brought in Rojo this year, so say what you want about Rojo, but Andy Reid said the opportunity is there if he makes the team. They also have Jerick McKinnon back there, so again, we'll have to see what happens with the Kansas City backfield, but I think Jacobs has a firm grasp on the running back one role in their offense, but we've seen reports that Kenyon Drake is going to have a bigger role, and Josh McDaniels does prefer to have, 2 relevant running backs in the mix coming over from New England. Usually at James White, but Damian Harris and Ramondre played in tandem last year. It seemed like so. They seem to like Kenyon Drake, so they paid him. So it'll be interesting, but I think Jacobs has me here for CEH.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't hate it.
I think it's time to open the floor. I'm an artist. I would consider myself an artist. Very thoughtful. And so some people might call me a modern day philosopher.
Amen.
And I sometimes, contrary to what you may suspect on this show, have trouble getting words out just plain old English. I find that art is the way that I am able to express myself. And I think that it's the best way, perhaps, to describe fantasy football players. So I think, number one, I think we might have stole this show or this segment from somewhere, but it also doesn't exist anymore. And I'm not a puppet, but a human being. So this is poetry and players. I should note, I haven't made these poems up yet. So have some grace.
Yeah, no, this is going to be great. I got all the faith in you in the world.
Travis Kelce is going very early. But how early is too early for a man that burly?
I mean,
Travis Kelce is going.
Love it.
Number 1 tight end off the board. He's actually not going too early on ESPN, but I have a feeling that he's going to end up in the first round of many drafts.
I mean, the past 3 ESPN mock drafts I've done, he's gone early second, around the 2-3 to the 2-5 has kind of been where he's been going. I mean, I did 2 yesterday and 1 this morning. So, as of today, he's going early. As of today, he's going much earlier than the 21st that ESPN kind of has him at. He's kind of going at 14 right now.
Yeah, I think we talked about it a bit yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably not taking the risk on him, but it's not gonna. I don't know that it's a risk either. You know what you're gonna get out of Travis Kelce if you take him. He went in the first round of our draft last year. I've seen him in a lot of first rounds, in mocks already. So
Right.
I am not too worried if you take him. It's just going to change your strategy. So just be prepared to be working from behind the 8 ball on the other positions, but know that
you have tight end locked up for the year. I mean, Travis Kelce is it's as close to a sure thing as you kind of get, especially now that Tyreek's gone. I mean,
at any position.
Yeah, I mean, he's fantastic. So, I mean, I think going early on a tight end is kind of risky, like you guys have been saying, but Travis Kelce, Mark Andrews are kind of the two guys this year that if you're going to risk it for the biscuit, those are the two guys to go with. Travis Kelce, if he makes off the first 2 picks, I mean, and it's not Travis Kelce and Myles Gaskin, then you just completely fumbled the whole bag. So
My answer is 109 is the earliest I would consider taking him, depending on who gets off the draft board.
you would take. Oh, I like that. Oh, that's interesting.
How early overall would you take him?
He said 109.
No, is that what you find interesting?
Yeah, like I think like a 109. I mean, you got like Derrick Henry, CMC, Jonathan Taylor, Eckler, Najee, Dalvin, Joe Mixon. You probably have a Cooper Kupp, a Justin Jefferson gone, maybe. And then
I might take him over Cooper Kupp.
That's crazy.
Because like we talk about sure thing, like I mean, not to take anything, we're picking at like
we're picking and choosing a small thing for Travis Kelce. Yes.
Yeah, it's a small difference, but it's a tougher position to find a replacement too.
True.
With Travis Kelce at tight end. So I might say like, yeah, around that range of like maybe even higher. We go like 6. Do we think 6 is crazy?
I thought 9 was kind of crazy. So for me, yeah.
I think depends on your strategy. I mean, I think it's easier to make up ground with, getting other skill players. But I mean, if you miss out on, a sure set tight end, and I mean we've said that we think there's only 2, that come right off the top of our heads. I guess I would be okay with taking him at 106 if I had, 1 or 2 picks locked in my head to get, and he was the 3rd.
I'm gonna move him to 7. I would put the 5 running backs and then Justin Jefferson ahead of him.
I am not. I'm all for a second round. I think
I'm not saying that he's a value there. I'm saying that's the earliest that I would take him.
I just think like if you grab him there, you're setting up people to have a much better second round than you're going to have. Like you're going to have, like you can make up ground with like, a Jerry Jeudy, a Deontay Johnson, much later down in the draft to get a decent wide receiver. I think like other people's teams would just benefit with the more tight. Like if you're taking both these tight ends, someone's probably going to take a Josh Allen. I mean, that's 3 spots in the top 24 here that are now just gone early, especially the earlier you do it. You could now get a Joe Mixon, Najee Harris backfield on another team, and you'd be having a Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill. Like, I mean, I don't know. To me, it's a little bit more risky, but
yeah, I mean, I am not arguing that you take Travis Kelce, number 7 overall. I couldn't do that. I don't have the cojones.
You always pick first overall anyway. So I mean, first or last, kind of. Number 7 in your wheelhouse here.
Fair enough.
Because you're the best.
I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
I think that's the seal, like highest place that you could take him. And I do think that he might be the 7th best player in fantasy, like maybe obviously not number wise because that's not how it works, but like positional value considered, I think that he could be worth that pick, and I wouldn't be upset, I would say, if you took him there. I would not say it's a value by any means, but I wouldn't be upset.
Okay.
I'm a fancy dessert guy. I like a good biscotti. Do you guys like biscotti?
I don't know what biscotti is.
It's like a hard, almost like bread cookie.
Airline food.
Oh no,
that probably
I don't
that
like
probably
it.
is not the best qualification of it. That makes it seem. I love a good biscotti, but how good? Okay, bear with me here.
Biscotti and bear biscotti. You got this. You're fine.
But Kent, jeez,
You got it. Don't worry about it.
I enjoy biscotti, but a top 15 running back, Javonte. Is Javonte Williams going to be a top 15 running back? He's going in the top 15 running backs. I'm trying to tie it in here. I'm doing my best. I don't actually like biscotti, by the way.
I'm gonna lift the load off your shoulders here.
Lift that load,
Mr. Biscotti.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say Scoop C Patati.
That would have been a good one too. I could have went with that.
And I'm gonna say yes. I think he is a top 15 running back.
I probably should have said top 12. Now that I think about it.
You think he's going to finish in the top 12?
I think he is probably number 11 or 12 come the end of the year for fantasy.
I have him right at 15 for reference. And he's in my tier with like Aaron Jones. It's a tier that goes from 11 to 18. So
he's also my number 13.
He's
my 13.
I wouldn't take him as I would say no.
Yeah.
But close.
I have him ranked as my 13th running back. So top 12, no. Top 15, yes. I just think Russell Wilson brings stuff to the table. But we don't know how that offense is going to play out. I think for the first few weeks, Javonte Williams is going to look like a fantastic running back because it's a new quarterback leading the offense. They're going to keep the playbook simple. They're going to kiss it, keep it simple, stupid. And it's kind of going to be a little bit more run heavy than it will be by the end of the season. And by the end of the season, when fantasy playoffs are kind of coming around, I think it's going to be a more pass happy team. I think they're going to be fighting for a playoff spot, so you're going to have to score more points. I just think Javonte gets lost in the wayside. So starting off, I like him, but I just think he's a guy that has a shelf life in terms of his productivity.
I think that was a great analysis.
I'll be honest, I didn't hear any of it. I was looking up rhymes for my next person. But I agree.
Thanks, Kondo. Thanks, Kenny.
I think to answer this question, no.
Yeah. I think to start the season, yes, but he's not going to be an RB1 by the end of the season. I don't think that's not going to happen.
Now I have a question for both of you.
Okay. Ready for it.
Depending on the draft board,
both
are available. Are you taking Javonte Williams or Saquon Barkley?
I have Williams 13. I have Saquon Barkley 14. So I'm going to take Javonte over him. That's just because I think I can have a better first half of the season with Javonte. and then I can flip him for someone who's going to have a productive second half of the season, or to build depth. Bless you. So to me, I'm taking Javonte.
I don't like that question.
It's fine.
Mostly because I don't think I really feel good about my answer. I have Saquon higher right now.
Mhm.
I don't want to have him higher. I don't know that I want to have him lower, but I definitely don't want to have him higher.
Yeah.
I might have to change that, but I'm going to trust earlier me and go Saquon Barkley as of this instant.
What do you think?
Just because he's going to have you don't have to worry about no one's stealing touchdowns from from Saquon Barkley.
True. What do you think, Ken?
I think I'm taking Saquon over Javonte Williams, just based on, like you said, Condo. I don't think there's any competition. I don't even know who the Giants' second running back is. I just read this morning that Devontae Booker had a workout with the Giants, so I was under the assumption that he was signed. I mean, I can check real fast.
The backup to Saquon is Matt Breida.
Matt Breida?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go
Gary
Saquon Barkley.
Brightwell and Dave and Antonio Williams.
That makes me feel a little bit better.
Yeah. I mean, I'm with you guys. I think Saquon's going to finish higher at the end of the year. I just think to start off, Javonte's going to have a much bigger workload, and he's going to look a little bit better on paper. And you could probably flip him a couple weeks into the season and make it get a nice little wide receiver depth or running back depth, and that's just my opinion on it.
Okay.
A lot of people tell me my figure is woman-like. But when I look at the number one receiver for the Los Angeles Chargers, can it be Mike? Mike Williams. Can Mike Williams be the number one receiver?
Oh, that's where we're going.
Fantasy receiver for the Chargers. He's going pretty hot. I've seen, shout out fantasy footballers. They have Mike Williams ahead of now right now. They have him as a top 10 receiver in their preseason ranks. Mike Williams, I have him very high in my rankings as well. I'd like to see where he's going on ESPN.
He's going. Mike Williams is the 18th wide receiver off the board, 52nd and a half guy overall, so 53rd basically.
I have him as my 15th. I do have Keenan Allen as my 10th, but Mike Williams was so up and down last year. I think we can even ask the question of first, is Mike Williams a top 15 receiver this year? Second, they paid him. There's going to be a time where he overtakes Keenan Allen. Yeah. I don't know if that's going to be this year, but can it be?
Can it be? I mean, absolutely. I mean, I think anything can happen. I have Keenan Allen at the end of my third tier and Mike Williams starting up my fourth. So right above or right below Keenan is Mike. I don't dislike Mike Williams. I just don't like having Mike Williams on my team. I just think the risk reward for him is, I don't know. To me, it's just not something I like.
It's hard. It's hard for me. I mean, being so high on Mike Williams last year was contrary to the fact for most people. Do I think it's possible he takes over Keenan Allen this year? Certainly. I think we just need to see a little bit more consistency from Mike Williams in that offense. We know targets are still going to be there. Nothing's really changed in terms of the Chargers receiving core. I know I don't think Jared Cook's on the team anymore, but I know they picked up Gerald Everett, who I think is better than Jared Cook. So there's a mouth to feed there. Josh Palmer is going to take on a bigger role. They still have Jalen Guyton too. I just think we need to see more consistency from Mike Williams before I put him in the top 15 wide receiver conversation.
Where is he for you guys? Be my question.
Me?
Yeah, because I feel like I'm very high on him from the sounds of it.
He's my 12th guy. Keenan Allen's 11, but he's starting off my
So you have Mike Williams in your top 12.
By default, yes, because he's a boomer bust guy. I mean, we are doing the rankings off of half point PPR. So to me, the boomer bust guys get that extra boomph. Mike Williams is the boomer bust guy. He's the deep ball threat for the team, whereas Keenan Allen is kind of, 10 targets, 8 receptions, 60 yards, whereas Mike Williams is 2 targets, a touchdown, and 88 yards. It's just a different sort of player. So that's why I have him so high. PPR, he'd be much lower, but it's like a boomer bust sort of guy. And I think Keenan Allen's getting older. I think Mike Williams is going to have to catch a couple more of the short balls just to give Keenan a break. So that's why I kind of had to put him up there for the half point rankings here.
Yeah, I should say that I do my rankings at the beginning of the year, and it might be different for other people trying to predict how things are going to turn out. I feel like I'm not trying to predict anything from if these rankings are different than the end of the year standings of where guys finish, that's okay. I'm going in order of where I would draft guys and not where they're going to finish, which might seem a little I don't know if convoluted is the right word, but I'm going to use it. But it's not like McKissick is a good example of this. I'm probably not going to take McKissick because the upside's limited. I'm going to go for guys with a little bit higher upside, especially later on. But I think Mike Williams coming into that new contract is going to be asked to do more, especially we've seen him kind of his role grow in the last couple of years. Also, the receiver position is weird. And that offense is really good. That, I think those are the things that are pushing him up the ranks for me. Kenny, where's he land for you? Was he wide receiver?
Currently for me, and this is going to be a hot take because I think it's a bit premature. I currently have him ranked outside of my top 20.
I don't know. That's crazy.
It's not crazy.
Again, I look at guys that I have close to him. Michael Thomas being one, Adam Thielen being another.
I think that might be. I think you're fine.
So, I mean, I think Mike Williams ADP, which I don't have off the top of my head right now.
Williams,
wide receiver 18.
18 going 53rd overall.
Okay, so I think that's a little early. That's again, Condo, you aim for high opportunity. I think it could be there, but I think when you go for a wide receiver 2, I think you're banking on more a higher floor kind of player. And I think around that ADP, you can find a guy maybe a DJ Moore, maybe maybe like a Marquise Brown, like someone who, is a wide receiver one in their respective offense.
Is Marquise Brown? Is the question? Like, I get it for the beginning of the year, but
yeah, in short term, but
I think, I guess I had more concerns.
It's interesting. I think to answer this question, to just move past it, yes. Just because I think the Chargers' offense efficiency is there. So I would not be surprised.
last one. I had one prepared for this, and I completely blanked out on this. I went to the Gulf of Mexico to eat an Irish potato with Michelangelo and watch the Ellen DeGeneres show. But with all these new weapons, what the heck happens with Hunter Renfrow?
Fantastic.
Hunter Renfrow's going late. I think I might even have him like lower than ADP. And his ADP is in the 30s. And I love Hunter Renfrow. As Cody, I think would say, grit guy, hard worker.
As all the grit,
blue collar. Yeah, those adjectives. Gritty. It's the last one. Shows a lot of grit out there. Heart.
Sharp.
But yeah, he's going wide receiver 31. I have him at wide receiver 38. So I am not really feeling Hunter Renfrow this year. It's just like somebody's got to drop off. And I honestly think it's going to be Waller and him falling back a little bit. What is your outlook for Hunter Renfrow?
I'll let you go first, Kenny.
All right. I have him currently at my wide receiver 41. And I mean, that's subject to change. There's so many wide receivers. I haven't finished up my rankings yet. But grossly, he's at my wide receiver 41. So kind of in the same ballpark you have him, Kondo. Again, I think you said it perfectly. Those targets have to go to the guy they paid to bring in. And Renfrow did a lot of his work last year when Darren Waller was hurt. So, and like he's still a big mouth to feed. So I think his value is wide receiver 3 with, probably mid wide receiver 2 to high wide receiver 3. I don't really know how much you're investing in Hunter Renfrow, just given how he won't be the number 2 pass catcher in the offense most likely. So I'm not reaching for him. I would at that point seek other opportunities with a guy like Sky Moore, a guy like Chris Olave, Kadarius Toney.
Yeah.
Kadarius Toney. That might be the stretch for me. I don't know that I am behind any of those guys.
I think it's going to pain me to say, but I'm losing some of the trust I had in the gritty, hardworking Hunter Renfrow. He's been replaced.
I don't think it's a dig at his craft.
It's not.
And character. He has great character as well.
Character is above and beyond anyone else on the team.
Kind of guy you want to date your daughter.
I don't have a daughter, but no, she'd be young. I'd be at least 18.
Yeah, man's got grapes.
That's a good point. Yeah, true. I think Darren Waller demands touches. Josh Jacobs demands touches. They brought in Javonte Adams. He deserves touches. I think it becomes the fourth fiddle in the band here, and
fiddle band.
Yeah, it's too many fiddles for me, and especially like where he's getting picked up on average 82nd pick overall. Michael Thomas getting picked up 81st. Tyler Lockett's 81st. Adam Thielen's 87 or 82. Juju's 82. I just think like those 4 guys all have a much better shot at finishing higher than Hunter. So for me, I had to rank him low. I think there is too many mouths to feed. The Raiders didn't have a super good offense last year, for a variety of reasons, and their defense wasn't super prolific either. So I think they are going to be in some shootouts where Hunter Renfrow could potentially have a couple good weeks, So I think as like a bye-week fill-in, I think he's a great option. But he's not the guy who I want as my wide receiver 2 or my flex or something like that. Not right now, at least.
It's just hard to like advocate for, like you guys said, a guy that has as low of a ceiling as he has. It's or a wide receiver. I mean, he's technically the wide receiver 2, but passing option number 3 in any offense is going to be tough.
Right.
And I just don't know that. Like, I would not take Kadarius Toney over him, but Kadarius Toney does have more upside than Hunter Renfrow this year, which is
Very true.
Nuts. So
hard to say.
Yeah, that's kind of what's dragging Hunter Renfrow down right now.
I do have a question for you guys, though.
Okay.
Devontae Smith or Hunter Renfrow?
I have Devontae Smith earlier. Not like much earlier, but I have him earlier.
I assume so, but I just want to double check because I think both of those. I think Devontae Smith's in for a better year, especially now that he's going to be playing second fiddle, which doesn't make much sense. But some people do better as a number 2. I just want to know how you guys thought of it.
Would you rather have Chase Claypool or Hunter Renfrow?
Hunter Renfrow, 100%.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even draft Chase Claypool.
I think you can get Chase Claypool for free like week 13. And that's after every single person's injured.
You're going to get him in the playoffs?
Yeah. I mean, you're not going to start him, but you're just going to be able to pick him up for free.
I want to write that one down, see if you can get that right. Can we make a bet right now? I don't even have a dog in this fight.
I'm not going to accept that bet. I'm not going to accept this fight because 3 out of the 12 people in the league that we community playing are on this podcast. So if either 3 of us, which is a fourth of the potential pool here,
quick math,
really good at math. Then it's a losing.
This is the year of the analytics, Cody.
I was analytic Cody last year, and I was right.
It's hard to find a comparable. It's hard to find a comparable guy to Hunter Renfrow in my rankings right now.
Kind of have him with like,
I don't know.
I have him around
Christian Kirk, Hunter Renfrow.
Ahead of him, I have Elijah Moore, and below him, I have Gabe Davis. Cortland Sutton, I think, is an interesting comp too. But that's it for that segment. Thank goodness. One last quick thing before we wrap up, go into the weekend, wrap up our whole AFC talk with some hot takes. But more importantly, hot takes you don't really believe, but we'll say just to post out of context to get clicks. Each give one hot take. You can believe it or not. Whatever you choose. And it just has to be for the whole AFC relating to one AFC team player. Something fantasy-wise.
I mean, Derek Carr will be a top 3 quarterback end of the year.
There's no doubt in your mind in that?
Not at all. I mean, you got Devontae Adams, you got Hunter Renfrow, you got Darren Waller, the baller, you got Josh Jacobs. I mean, you got Derek Carr himself. I mean, the guy is just built for grit. I mean, the guy's out there doing Jesus work. Hit him in the head, he keeps going, all right? He ain't laying down for no dog, all right? They're in Vegas. You got to risk it big or risk it all right?
So you're all in on Derek Carr.
Oh, all in on Derek Carr.
Derek Carr or Patrick Mahomes?
Derek Carr.
Derek Carr or Josh Allen?
Josh Allen. Josh Allen. It's going to be Justin Herbert, Josh Allen, Derek Carr as the top 3.
Derek Carr or Christian McCaffrey, who scores more total points at the end of the year.
Who scores more total points? Shit. Give me Derek Carr.
I like that one.
Anyone besides Josh?
I
Josh
honestly think you're correct.
I
think you could have gone hotter take.
I have Derek Carr ranked outside my top 13, or technically it might be 13 or 14 in terms of quarterback, but I talked myself into top 3. Top 3 overall in terms of fantasy. Like fantasy points, he's going to be top 3. Okay. Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, 2 guys beat him.
All sports do. That covers basketball,
baseball, lacrosse, field hockey, women's basketball, women's soccer, all that good shit.
It's a good hot take.
For me, I don't think Tyreek Hill is a top 10 wide receiver.
Okay, that's a shitty hot take.
Okay, then I don't think.
Then I don't. 10 or 11.
I don't think Najee Harris is a top 10 running back come the end of the season.
Okay,
top 10
it's a little bit hotter.
It seems a little soft, but
I feel like you believe that though.
Yeah,
is my problem. Remember, the name of the segment is hot takes you don't really believe, but we'll say just to post out of context to get clicks. I'm not sure that that's generating clicks. We need some revenue in the bag. I don't know that clicks will generate revenue for us, but
they could.
Cortland Sutton will be the wide receiver 1 come the end of the year.
What? That's a bogus take, man.
You want to talk bogus? I don't like your shirt. And I ain't talking the one that's on your body.
Oh!
That one? How dare you?
Yeah, I'm calling that a shirt.
Don't disrespect the sheriff. That'll get you 10 to 15. I ain't talking yards. I have a couple.
Let's hear them.
I don't believe Zach Wilson has sex with moms. Number 1. I think he's Mormon. I don't know if that's allowed there.
Has a hot take.
I already forgot my second one. Let me look at names.
Chase Daniels, top 10 quarterback.
Nice.
Hollywood Brown should change his name to Kentucky. Kentucky Brown just sounds like a cool name.
Love it.
More hot takes. Tyreek Hill is going to be running back, wide receiver, flex by the end of the year. You're going to be able to play him at both positions, running back or receiver. He's going to be awesome at both. He's going to be Debo.
He swings both ways.
Ain't nothing holding that man back.
Again, we respect it. Nothing holding him back. And he can do what he wants. I still haven't gotten to my main hot take, which I am trying to remember as I rush through all of this. Oh, Randall Cobb, wide receiver 1. Randall Cobb is the wide receiver 1. I don't even think I'm joking.
I mean,
Randall Cobb's going to catch 100 patches. Randall Cobb's going to catch 100 passes this year.
100 patches for Randall Cobb, aisle 3.
100 passes easily.
Yeah.
1,000 yards.
Probably.
By week 10.
Okay.
Randall Cobb is going to have the season of his life. And how old is he? It doesn't matter.
At least 10. At least.
Guy ages like fine wine.
They have no one else to throw to. He has
Randall
a veteran
Cobb.
presence out there. He has an awareness. He doesn't need the speed. He knows where he needs to be. He can beat you to his spot without even moving his legs.
I thought you were going to keep rhyming. I was going to be really impressed.
We already had a rhyming segment. We're all done with that. I don't think I would have been able to keep it up. Last hot take.
I got faith in you. Here you go.
Oh. Drew Lock wins MVP. That was the easiest one of all time.
Drew Lock does win MVP.
Drew Lock wins MVP. And he does sleep with moms. I'll say that.
I have no doubt about either.
Actually, I think he's married.
Tigers.
And I don't think she has a kid.
He sleeps with a mom.
I don't think she has a kid.
If they have
But
a
she
cat,
might.
dog, fish,
But she might.
who knows?
This might actually be me revealing to them
That they're pregnant.
Yeah, she is pregnant.
That's a great way to find out on Your Wildest Fantasy. We announce pregnancies on this show.
Congrats, Drew Lock. Congrats to the family of Drew Lock.
The Drew Lock Misfit clan.
I'm really happy for them.
W's
we all
up in
should
its
be.
ass. Here we go.
Next week we're going to talk about Drew Lock
We are indeed.
in more depth as we go through the NFC divisions. Make sure to, I don't know, you can subscribe and turn on notifications to see if you like the episode so far and want to keep up with the NFC. After that, we will be doing our rankings, probably some heated debates, I'd hope, especially if it's hot out, because I think this room will keep up the temp. I think it's a pretty cool day out, and I bet it will get hotter. So,
accurate statement.
Heated debates for me, Kenny, and Lil Debbie. We are signing off, and we will see you all next week.
See y'all later.